Well, when you say elections are never held in Rivers, for those who say they voted, let me start. Did you vote?
I did.
Good. So that was an election.
Now, election is a process. When we talk about election, we're talking about, even on election day, let's take election day activity. We're talking about accreditation of voters according to the rules. The voting process, counting of votes, record of the votes, announcement of the votes at your various polling units, announcement at the ward collation centers, announcement at the AJ collation centers, then announcement at the state level. If what you have on a particular day does not substantially comply with the rules, you can't say you've taken part in the process. In Rivers, there are 3 outstanding issues. One is that days before the election, and particularly on the day of the election, there was unbridled intimidation of high degree, one that would have made it impossible for anybody to hold what looks like an election. On the eve of the election, shooting started at Akukutoro. It lasted from 7 p.m. about 5 p.m. It lasted from 5 p.m. till 9 a.m. the next day.
Akukutoro is where?
Abonima. And all the other communities there. Abise, Soku, Kola, Sangana, and the whole of that axis. So it would have been impossible for anybody to hold elections under that condition. Now, let's take the case of Buguma. In the case of Asaritoro local government, I talked about Akukutoro earlier, Asaritoro, the RAC center was bombed when some hoodlums attempted to hijack the electoral materials, and they were resisted by the community boys. They simply bombed the place and brought down the RAC center, Kensi Buguma. The place was raised as at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning.
Where did you vote?
In Opobo, my hometown.
Was that the case there?
Now, Opobo was slightly different. What I noticed in Opobo is because I come from Opobo, what they did was to distribute materials in specific wards within Opobo Island. Distribute materials, and when voting started, the same pattern. Hoodlums started moving from unit to unit, hijacking result sheets and other electoral materials.
But that didn't happen in your polling unit?
It did, but I had casted my vote then. I went back to my house.
So the votes where you voted was not counted?
I didn't have the opportunity of knowing whether it was counted or not. Look at what has happened.
Okay, so there was no result?
No, he says you must count the results there, announce it there, paste it on the wall so that people can snap it.
Yeah, so at the moment,
all of that didn't take place.
So there's no result for where you voted?
I don't know of any result.
You haven't seen any
result? Any result.
From Opobo where you voted?
The polling unit where I voted.
Was that the situation? Because I mean, usually when people go to court, the first thing is, yes, there were, and in many places, even in places that were largely peaceful, there were incidences of, ballot box snatching, people just tipping the contents of ballot boxes for no just cause. There were incidences like that. That didn't mean that people didn't vote. And that didn't mean that that was the situation across the entire state. You've mentioned 2 major places, but you've said that in Opobo, you were able to vote. In Port Harcourt, for instance, the capital, where a lot of people said they also voted. Was that the instance? Was that the case?
Yeah, I'm aware that in some places in Port Harcourt, people voted. Now, in Borokiri area, for example, people didn't have the opportunity of casting their votes. What we're talking about is opportunity of exercising our franchise. A policeman was shot for resisting the attempt by PDP to hijack electoral materials. He was shot dead, confirmed dead. This is a policeman. Even when the police was working in concert with the PDP. And in many places.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Oh my God. Early this morning, as I was on my way to the station, I had a chat with the Commissioner of Police. He called me. I don't want to share experiences, but it's not something you should listen to. No same person should listen to it and remain sane.
People are bothered. People really want to know what exactly it is. So we were at the heart of the election, and we had loads of interjection for our programming concerning news, breaking stories coming from Rivers State. And if you're here, I think it's best that we unravel and unwrap all of those things that transpired during the governorship election. You are the center, one of the candidates there for that particular election, and your party is still saying that there was no election, and you just repeated that much here. We would love to know what really went wrong in Rivers State. Apart from the shooting, which you said started pretty early in the day, how did accreditation go in most of the polling units? You had your agents.
I can